Hello and welcome, friends. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're back, welcome back. I greatly appreciate all of your ongoing support. This is my channel, Dragon's Jewel Creative Gems, and I'm Tegan. And I'm just going to get all that wonderful YouTube stuff out of the way. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so. It's just down at the bottom there. And if you like the content that I create, make sure you're hitting that like button as well. And of course, any comments that are left behind, I greatly appreciate. Absolutely enjoy reading them. And do my best to reply back rather quickly. Share that love right back at you. Write a little message, that kind of thing. So definitely all of that helps out the channel. So yeah, it's all also greatly appreciated. Today I am doing a WIP and chat, and anybody who may not know what that means, that WIP just stands for work in progress, and that's whatever crafty project you have on the go. Today obviously that's a diamond painting. That's generally kind of what I'm working on most days when I'm doing these. I just chat along and catch everybody up on kind of my 2 weeks, and you listen along while you work on your project or get something done around the house, anything like that, whatever you've got on the go, and just would like some company. So yeah, that's that. This is still the Mystery Kit canvas by Chris Ortega. I am absolutely loving this. As you can see, there's still lots of blue, lots of gray, although you can kind of have a little bit peeky of that. I've started the character. She is right here in the middle, kind of. Of course, because it's so zoomed in, you can't see the full canvas. I took a progress photo just the other day of where this canvas currently sits as is. I just have to post it onto my Instagram, so if that's something that you would like to see the picture as a full, definitely go over there and check that out. That's usually where I kind of post my little progress photos and kind of things that you often get to see on video in the same way. Also, when I complete a canvas, the full completion photos are put up over on there as well. My Instagram, I think I usually have it linked below in the description. If not, I'll make sure I do that for this video for sure. Yeah, I'm just going to get my color happening here. I don't have a ton to talk about today, so I'm not sure how long this WIP and chat will go, but hopefully it'll be a little bit of a decent amount of time. I usually try to go for about 40 to 60 minutes generally. That seems to be, I've never really gotten super close to the 60-minute mark unless I'm yabbering on about questions and tag questions kind of thing. Those usually go longer. But yeah, and I think that's mainly just because I am a stay-at-home mom, and so a lot of my stuff revolves around that little man. Yeah, so even though he keeps me busy, we don't do a whole lot in the grand scheme of things that's super exciting or anything like that. He did go back to school. That was that staggered start that I had talked about last WIP and chat. He had gone back on the 6th, so he was the second kind of group of kids to go in to his class, and then on the 3rd day the whole class was there together. Yeah, so he's been at school now. This is his first full week. Obviously, as last week was with the long weekend, I think it was Labor Day if I remember correctly, I want to say, with the long weekend there, and then the staggered start. He only had 3 days of class last week, so this is day 4 now of a day 5 week for him. I am noticing he is getting tired in the evenings when he comes home. So that's not a bad thing. It's just I'm noticing that, you know, well, obviously it's wearing him out, which is a good thing because he likes to be busy, and it's hard. It's not often that he gets actually like worn out, where he's tired. But he's worn out just enough that he is ready for bedtime, and he is pretty much hitting that pillow and out like a light. So that's what I mean by he's tired. It's nice to see he's seeming to be enjoying himself and having fun, which is always a good thing as well. I think he's very happy to be back at school. He catches the bus there in the morning and takes the bus home, and he's always happy to see his bus and get on it, and then always happy when he gets off the bus when he comes home, and then gets to kind of, well, it's not really downtime per se, because I mean we have things that happen here at the house occasionally, but he's home and he can kind of enjoy at that point a little bit of screen time if he wants. He can kind of play with his toys. It's a little bit quieter than the classroom because he's in an individual program, individual sport program. So there's lots of kids with different types of disabilities, both mobility-wise and developmental-wise. So it's not always the quietest of settings, but he's fairly used to that because his program prior to this one, he was in a full special needs school, in a funded program over there. That funding obviously ends at a certain age because it's their kind of early education for kids with delays and medical issues and whatever else. So that's obviously ended because he grew out of the age. That only goes up to kindergarten. So now he is grade 1. So now he's in this individual program, so it still supports his needs, which is a good thing. He seems to enjoy all of his teachers and assistants and all of that. He gravitated right away when we dropped him off on the first day to one of them. Pretty much took her by the hand and said, follow me. Me and you were going to hang out, so we knew he was in pretty good hands right away. He settled in super quick, so we just pretty much dropped him and his stuff off and let him be for his first day. And yeah, so that's been going pretty well. They don't update us the same way as the specialized school did, like the full special needs school. They update more, a little less frequently, and on kind of more of a online platform than in a notebook that they kind of send back and forth daily. So it's taken a little bit of adjusting with that. I'm not used to having less frequent kind of updates because I was used to getting daily updates on how he was doing. If he had a struggle that day in school versus having a kind of a more smooth sailing day. So I do kind of miss that. Those updates were kind of nice because then we could kind of read about them and kind of go, oh, then we could kind of talk about those with our son when he came home. like, oh, I hear you did this today, you played with whatever, right? And so it was kind of fun in that sense to be able to talk to him about that kind of thing. Can't really do that. I mean, I suppose it's something maybe we could request. I don't know. But instead they do, like I said, these online updates, and that's more just if the teacher has a general message for the entire class, or they'll post little, pardon me, sorry, that burp, or they'll have like a picture and a short little video. So his first picture that they posted was of him playing with some toy, sitting on the floor playing with some toy with one of the teacher assistants. Just enjoying himself. I mean, he looked happy. And then the second one, which is just the other day, was of him making some applesauce, and they had a picture and short video of him doing that. And so they had kind of the cooked apples in a strainer that they were mushing with a kind of one of those probably similar to like a tart press, where you're kind of, it's just a wooden kind of mallet kind of thing, and pressing that through the strainer to kind of make it mushy. And so he seemed to be doing really good with that. And it looked like he was enjoying himself, and of course they were telling him he was doing a good job and things like that too. But yeah, so those are kind of more the updates now that I'm getting and how I'm getting them. So I mean, I was able to that day when he did the applesauce, go, oh, did you help make some applesauce at school? And then he would give me a little smile, kind of saying, yes, I did, in his own little way. So that's what I mean by like having those kind of updates are nice, because you can kind of talk about them at home. And even though he doesn't really, he's not totally verbal, he understands a lot more than he can speak. So he'll smile, or sometimes with his limited words that he does know, he'll say yeah or yay, kind of like that. So it's nice in that sense. So other than missing that, it's been pretty good, I would say. I'm glad he's back at school. It's allowed me to kind of focus on things here at the house a little bit easier. I mean, when he first went back, that first kind of partial week, a lot of it was just me taking the downtime to diamond paint while he was at school, and kind of have a nap in the middle of the day and kind of readjust to our new hours for the day. Because that's of course something, going back to school, adjusting to getting up earlier so that he can catch his bus and still get his feet in and all that good stuff. So just adjusting to that, I would kind of go back to bed because I would be exhausted. And so a lot of the beginning of his school here has been kind of that. Today I was feeling a bit tired, so I did that after he caught his bus. I did go back to bed for a bit. Janaya, my big girl, though, decided it was time for me to get up, and so she came and flopped right on me. She's about a 60-pound dog, given that she's a German Shepherd Husky mix. So she came into the bedroom and just kind of flopped right on top of me, which is usually her way of letting me know that it's time to get up, because she does that, and then she'll get up in my face and start giving kisses and licks. And so yeah, she decided it was time for me to get up for the day, let her and her brother outside. So I did go back and do that, so that's why now I'm filming this, and it's about 11:24 in the morning, so it's still morning. and the kiddo doesn't come home till just before 4 unless he's the only kid on the bus kind of thing. Then he'll end up home a little bit earlier, or if there's less kids on the bus, he'll end up home a little bit earlier. But basically, he's coming home at about 4, just before 4 p.m. I've got some time to film this, make sure it gets edited and uploaded and all that good stuff, and ready for you guys tomorrow, which is when this one comes out. Yeah, so that's kind of today on the go. Let's see, so other than that, we've had his OT lady come in from Specialized Services and work with him. That was last week on the Wednesday after school, and we just did some food play, watching him eat, and working on, she's also has been helping working on some approximations for speech as well, and all that good stuff. So that was kind of that session with her. We got him to kind of say the approximation for key, so he was playing with a set of keys that she had, and he was saying key, like that first part, not the Y, not like fully formed word, and not 100% clear, but he was making the approximation of the K part, the K, and kind of a little bit of that E sound. So that is kind of a newer approximation that he's doing. So that was her session. She was here for about an hour, I would say hour, yeah, about an hour. That seems to be kind of what they come in for now. And then our weekend was, we had, or my hubby had gotten an email from one of these Stollery event coordinators. She had been a part of the Racing for a Cure event that we had signed up to do the free VIP experience, where our son got to go in one of the exotic sports cars and kind of do a loop, driving loop kind of thing, and go up in a helicopter ride as well. I guess one of the drivers from that event helps coordinate a demolition derby out in the New Sarepta area, which is a smaller kind of town. What would that be? Kind of east? Southeast kind of the city, something like that. I'm terrible with the southwest, north, so I could be a little off for anyone that actually knows the area, but you've probably heard of New Sarepta anyways. So that probably means a heck of a lot more to you than me trying to explain which direction it is from the big city that I'm in. But they help coordinate that event, and I guess he wanted to give a VIP experience to Stollery families, so he reached out to the Stollery coordinator to find a couple of families who had kind of the time and interest to attend this demolition derby. And so we had signed up because we thought it would be something our son would enjoy, as he absolutely loves his cars. And so we signed up and had that experience, and what they did as part of that was on this driver's dime, because he kind of donated this experience to them. He chartered a coach. Oops, as I drop my pen in my tray of drills and scatter them. So what he did is he paid for a coach bus to drive the families from the city out to New Sarepta. And then once we were out there, obviously, we were at the event, and they had taken a section of one of the stands, which were just like metal kind of riser stands that you would see at any kind of outdoor event, if you've ever been to one, and basically sectioned off a section as a VIP section for all the families to sit in. This event is like a 4,000 person event, so they had a whole bunch of stands kind of around the big middle pit, and then off to this, in behind one side of the pit was where they kind of had like the pit stop for all the cars in the demolition derby. So that's where they would go, kind of work on the cars, wait in between, that sort of thing. Park there for them. Sorry. So there was that section which was for them. And then there was another kind of off that section, there was some vendors. So they were selling like their minor league hockey shirts for their team out there. They had some Harley Davidson gear that they were selling, so that kind of brought out a bunch of the bikers to the event as well. So there was a bunch of bikes and bikers walking around, enjoying the event. They had like a little car show as well, plus the demolition derby going on, and then they had some motocross bikes doing jumps and tricks as well in like another little section. And those were all actually teens who were doing the motocross. Super talented. They were doing flips and twists, and you name it, they were doing it. It was a lot of fun. And of course the demolition derby, where they would pull out probably anywhere from 5 to, what was there? I think at most there was like 8 vehicles out in the middle at a time, and they would kind of line them up on different sides of the ring, and then they would kind of drive backwards and do turns and whatever else to kind of line up and smash into the other cars. And it was actually a full-on competition where they were basically going to the last car running and not stuck in the mud kind of thing for cash prizes. So that was kind of the event that we would sit and watch. They had given, obviously we had the section of stands where we could sit and watch that were reserved for us. They also gave us a free lunch of either a hot dog or burger and a pop for everybody in the family. So we of course were able to get that kind of once we got there, set up and arrived. We had a little goodie bag for each of the kids in the family, and in that bag my son got a little racing car for, that was like a Hot Wheels car. They were throwing toy cars out into the crowd at the kids. I'm kind of in between demolition derbies, so he did collect I think 2 other cars that had ended up kind of flying out into the crowds at some point as well. And then they had like little hot cold packs that were shaped. The one my son got was a fire truck one. Kind of like one of those little beaded hot cold packs. So you either throw it in the microwave for a couple seconds with a damp cloth wrapped around it, or you throw it in the freezer for so long. And it's just like little kid-sized ones. So that came in there. Then of course there was like a cup from one of the sponsors, some sunglasses, a pen, little things like that. So it was chocked full of goodies. And yeah, so we spent the entire day out there enjoying that event as a family. My son, I think, had lots of fun. I had him each time the demolition derby would start. I would he would look out at them and I would ask him which was his favorite car, which he was totally going by looks, obviously. And then he would point them out and then I would say, okay, we're rooting for that one to make it to the end. So we kind of ended up getting into it a little bit. He enjoyed himself. After a while, though, he did get antsy just kind of sitting in the stands, so we reached a point where me and the hubby would have to kind of take turns walking the event with him, because he's just go, 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 go. It's hard for him to sit still for too long. So we did kind of have to take turns doing that and then kind of coaxing him back to the stands to actually sit and watch the demolition derby part of it. But we made it. We made the day. I think they got us all back on the bus at about just after 4, something like that. And heading back into the city so that we were back at the shuttle starting point where we all met up by 5. So that was good. The poor guy was pretty tired though after we left. That he was kind of leaning against me on the bus ride home and fighting to stay awake. But he had lots of fun. When we were putting him to bed, we actually asked him if he had a fun day and he gave us a thumbs up. So I would say that was a solid yes. But yeah, so that was our entire Saturday, was out there doing that. And then of course back to school for this week, and then yesterday we had our behavioral guy come and work with our son again, just on kind of some behaviors, so that weight scenario, and teaching him to keep himself busy with something, usually a toy in his case, or kind of coloring or drawing or something, an activity that's motivating at the time for him before he would get attention that he wants, which usually is from our behavior guy, because he wants him to play with him, because that's what he's there for, right? He's not there to actually help him. He's there to play with him. So usually he wants our behavior guy, whose name is Zach, to play with him. So Zach makes him wait, and then says, okay, we'll play this but I've got to, whatever, talk to your mom first, or I've got to, he does notes on like an iPad, so then he'll just be like, oh, I have to do something quickly on here, right? And so then makes our son wait, and then he'll play whatever activity he wants Zach to be engaged with him, kind of thing. So we worked on that. That went really well. We got him up to a good solid 4 minutes where he played nicely, engaged in his activity without kind of throwing a fit or fussing or doing his attention-seeking behaviors like his scratching, his pulling, interrupting at the top of his little lungs kind of thing. So he did really well for that session. And Zach would like us to try and keep pushing him at about that four minutes of wait time when we do practice it, kind of during the week. And usually the way we practice it during the week is very similar to how we practice it when he's here. We'll let our son kind of get engaged in activities, and then eventually he wants us to join in on them, and then we start that period of, okay, mom has to finish this, or dad has to finish this first, can you wait? And then that kind of thing. So that's a slow work in progress. He wanted him to open up it's not Lego, but it's similar to Lego. I think it's called like Max Build or something like that. He wanted him to open up a box of that and build this item that was in the box. So there was a point where he did get a bit frustrated with Zach because Zach was trying to get him to, he also helps with the speech bit too. He was trying to get him to do the approximation for open. And my son can make the O sound. In fact, the entire session yesterday, Zach was trying to get him to approximate that O sound, and he wouldn't when we wanted him to, but then when we stopped engaging, my son would do something else and make the O sound. So we just kind of looked at each other, went really, and kind of laughed about it. Right? Because obviously you can't force it either. You just try to model it and work it, and it's like, okay, we know he can make the sound, but he's just being a turkey in this scenario. So he did at one point get frustrated there and kind of do a little bit of a scratch. But other than that, his session went really well. We're moving up to about 4 minutes of wait time, like I said, which is really good because when we first kind of started working on this behavior, it was literally just like a 30-second wait time. It wasn't very long at all, so there's some progress. And I mean, he's certainly not perfect every single time. He gets his frustration, he loses interest, so we try to, of course, as much as possible, do it with things that are highly motivating. But some days you just don't find that highly motivating item, and it goes however it goes. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. And then, I guess the other thing is, while he went back to school, I did manage to kind of start and work on, some of you may have seen from my community tab, I did manage to start and work on one resin piece and kind of play around and see how that first piece worked. I didn't work on more than one because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. So I started with one piece. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but obviously I didn't know how much the mold took. And I know the trick of, if you fill it up with water, it'll tell you, or you can kind of estimate a little bit closer to. And did I do that? No. So instead I just kind of did it in 2 parts to get the mold full. The first one, I think I only managed to get it maybe half, a little more than half full, so then I had to mix up kind of a second batch of the colors and do the other half that way. So yeah, a little bit of a learning curve for that. But I did make my first piece. It cured, so that's a bonus. So obviously I did the mixing correctly. I didn't mess that up. So yes, it actually did cure, and I do have my first piece made. I didn't want to do any of this on camera, of course, because I wasn't also sure how it would go. But I demolded it, and there's only a few small little air bubbles here and there. Nothing I can't go back and kind of fill in and fix and tweak, so there's a little bit of finishing touches like that that I want to do on the piece. And then of course I'm going to make some more before I kind of compile them all together and do like a crafty finish kind of video to share with everybody. But so far, yeah, just kind of getting used to working with the resin, what it can do, making the pieces, playing around with like glitters in it and all those kind of things that I did get as well. So that's kind of where I'll be at. I'll probably make some more hopefully tomorrow. My son will be at school, and then he should be going, I believe, over to my parents for his overnighter, so I'll probably work on at least another piece, maybe a couple of other pieces, we'll see. But I didn't get a ton of resin either, so I may have to order myself some more before I fully dive in. But so far I am enjoying it. I am thinking I am going to need more resin because I'm actually in love with the first piece I made. I know it's not perfect yet and I still want to tweak it a bit, but I love how it turned out. I love the colors that I used, all of that. The first piece I actually worked on is that tray mold that I had, where I'm planning on using it for diamond painting and putting like my tweezers on it, my pens on it when I'm not using them. So like this, I bounce between these two, so whatever pen I'm not using at the moment will go on it, plus my tweezers, that sort of thing. My putty, just in case I need to refill it, that kind of idea. So yeah, I definitely will probably make more of those as well, just in different colors, and I might play around and kind of make a Halloween-y one, a Christmassy one, that kind of thing, like get those seasonal, make it kind of like a little seasonal accessory thing too. So yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to need some more resin. I can see already, just from making that one piece, that I already want to make more. Also because of how small of the Part A, Part B bottles that I had got myself to, I'm definitely going to probably need to look at saving and splurging a little bit more on the larger bottles, especially if I really dive into this craft, because some of the molds do take a bit. You definitely need a generous amount for some. And that's fine, that happens. But yeah, so that was something I did manage to do, and so far that's kind of my thoughts and where I'm at with it. I of course will share that and more when I work on a couple more pieces, kind of where I'm sitting at with all of that. But definitely that first piece turned out better than I expected. It's definitely something that's going to be manageable for me to do. So yeah. I have a feeling I might have another crafty hobby. Which is both good and bad, because of course everybody who has a crafty hobby knows there's a whole other side to that, and that's buying the supplies. But yeah, I mean, I guess as long as I'm enjoying it, I mean, I did try to buy molds that, when I do make them, they're items that I can use myself, so like the tray for diamond painting. Every time I looked at them online and wanted to buy one, the cost of them and then to ship them, and it, yeah, is worth me buying the mold, making them myself, because not only then can I choose what they look like, all of that, but yeah, they're here right away. I have them. In the long run, I'll end up saving money on it because I already have the mold. So if I want a new one to match whatever, that's easily done. So yeah, that's kind of that. And then I guess there's not really a whole bunch more to talk about. I am going to be joining, it starts on the 16th and goes until the 14th, and it's through TJ Custom Pens. They do a Halloween event. I did it last year with my Drills and Chills canvas. I'm not doing Drills and Chills this year, just because I'm working on this mystery and I really want to finish this mystery, and I obviously, the events I participate in, if I can with this canvas, is an event where I have a way to submit my progress and not spoil it for others. So very graciously, I am able to do the Halloween event because she doesn't work on mysteries at all, so it won't spoil it for her. So I'm actually submitting my progress photos directly to the host of the event, or one of the hosts of the event, because both her and her husband host it. I want to say Emily, but now I know two Emilys who are in the diamond painting community, so I might be mixing them up, which hopefully I'm not. I believe, yes, Emily is TJ and Emily. But I'm submitting directly to her my progress for the event, so I can still participate, which is awesome, and not spoil it for anybody who may work on mysteries, may have this canvas and still want to work on it but hasn't started. Their event is super relaxed. It doesn't have to be a fresh start. It can be a work in progress. All they really need to see is that progress on it. So like if you have a blank section and this is all you've got done, they can obviously see the progress because there's drills placed. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't even have to be that you finished an entire section or that you finished an entire 2 sections in that time, just as long as you've placed some drills and they can see that progress. So, that's always nice when you have an event like that where they just, like I say, they're just looking for that progress because they want people to be working on their diamond paintings and enjoying the events. So I am joining that event. I didn't think I was going to end up joining a fall or Halloween event just because, like I said, I was working on a mystery and not all those events are flexible for mysteries. And this is one that I, like, as much as I would have probably started another canvas and worked on it at the same time, now I don't have to. which is even better because then I can just focus on this one and get her done. So I've got probably about 4 more rows after I finish this section. So I mean, she's coming along quite nicely. Like I said, she's kind of got a little bit of that steampunky kind of vibe. Which, if you saw any of the kind of the sneak peek photos, you would know that, because she's kind of got like some goggles on her head. And then these kind of, whatever these are, like wings or a blade, or I haven't quite figured that out. And then kind of this little airship that's up there, which I don't know that you can see. But yeah, so that is an event that I'm working on with this canvas, and will kind of continue to do so. So I am enjoying a kind of a fall Halloween event. In retrospect, it's not all fall Halloween canvases necessarily, but that's okay. It's just kind of what you're working on, and that's fine. Yeah, so I think that's about it. If you missed my last WIP and chat, I let everybody know that I was a Diamond Art Club and a Temu affiliate, and I've been linking all that information below my videos. So if you shop either of those places, please feel free to use my links if you want extra discounts. I'm also starting to put any of those down below. I received my first PR package, which was super exciting, and I have started one of the projects. The mushrooms actually is the one that I went with. So I have started that one. I haven't been working on it as much as my diamond paintings, so I do have it kind of out by the TV though. But there are evenings that I kind of forget it's even there because I haven't cross-stitched in forever. I will be honest there. So I haven't been working on it as much as I could, but I have definitely started it, and I do find myself wanting to work on it after I've worked on it. It's just kind of getting myself back into that habit of, oh, this is something I do again. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying it. The only thing I'm finding is with my carpal tunnel, I can't do it for super, super long, and that's okay. So I tend to kind of work a little bit of one color, or the full color depending how much is in it. I'm kind of going from there, and then I'm just kind of really listening to my hands, if they're starting to cramp too much, if they're going numb too frequently, if they're achy, if they're sore, then I kind of stop and I take that break. And then I'll pick the project back up when I'm ready to. So that could be in like a couple of hours they'll pick it up again, or in an hour I'll pick it up again and work on some more. Or the next day, just really depends. So I do kind of have to listen to how my hands are feeling a bit more on that. I don't know if anybody who does cross stitch or anything, if they have maybe items that help them stitch a little bit longer periods of time. If something like that even exists, I don't know. Because like I said, I haven't done it in forever, so for all I know, there could be. Or maybe there isn't, and it's still what I remember as out there, product-wise, is out there for the most part. But if there is something definitely that helps you kind of stitch longer, because you end up, whether it's arthritis, carpal tunnel, any of those kind of wonderful achy hand issues, that kind of help prolong how long you can work on a project, let me know. I would definitely like to know that. As I have been enjoying it, and I definitely will continue to do it. It just might be one of those things that take me a little bit longer when I do work on it, which is fine too. it is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's really about it. Started that. I have, of course, the PR package was from VIP Cross Stitch, and I do have a discount code if you are a cross stitcher, or they even have a couple of crochet knittings kind of things. They have a small section for that, so even if you do some of that, you might want to check them out. And of course, feel free to use that code to help save yourself some money. That is about it, kind of for 2 weeks worth of updates. Like I said, I know it's not much. I apologize for that. But yeah, that's been my 2 weeks. I, of course, will see everybody in the next video with something new. Have a great day. Bye.